Hello everyone, I am Riski Ahmad Haidar, and my last two number is 091, and I'm class B of English Prose 1. And here I will discuss about my novel review. First of all, about the novel. The title is The Discomfort of Evening, and the author is Mariki Lucas Regenvold. And the genre is about Bildungsroman, and the pages is 288 and published in 2018 and have award from International Booker Prize in 2020. And here is the picture of the novel, and here is the picture of the author. Okay. And then next is why I interesting about the novel, about this novel. At first, I was interested in the cover of the book. I imagined the story would tell of sadness and loneliness depicted in the child with the red coat. Moreover, I really like stories that are based on real life. After I read the whole story of this novel, evidently it's not literally different from my expectation when I saw the cover at first. This novel tells about rural and religion life in the Netherlands. A family who experienced grief over the death of a sibling due to parental neglect and makes the mother of the children feel endless sorrow, resulting in abandonment of her children. Until a child's curiosity arises, which is very deep but without anyone to guide them, and instead makes them fall into other negative things. And then the related issues. The story is about sadness, especially their mom and Kula's daddy, with resulting in creating a distance between parents and children. This is very relevant to the current situation where many parents unintentionally or even deliberately ignore their children by prioritizing their own personality rather than their child. Lack of parental love of children result in many children feeling alienated and not being properly guided. Moreover, many parents neglect their children at a young age. Many children whose behavior is not controlled due to lack of parental care for them. The child deep curiosity process without the right guidance will actually make the child over fantasies and want to try it, which allows misdirection to occur. And then the specific element. In the specific element, I have 2 points of specific element. First is the character. The character in this novel are the same, namely round dynamic. And then the characters such as Hannah as a Jess sister is also close person to Jess. And then Obi, he is the Jess' older brother who looks cruel and rebellious. And then J, it is Jess' favorite rabbit pet. And then Billy, she is Jess' friend's playmate. And then the father or dad, he is a figure who is not close to children. And then the last but not least is mom. She's mom, her lack of warmth toward her children and seeming very stiff. She was deeply lost in grief over the death one of his children, eh, over one of her children. All characters in this novel seem very antagonistic. Likewise with Jess, who does a lot of negative and absurd things. However, Jess and his siblings' character here is actually very good. It's only because the circumstance make them like that. And then they may the endless sadness to make the distance between parents and children. This is very unfortunate because children still need full guidance during their growth and development. In the end, the child will feel loneliness and turmoil in their heart, which make them do things that are unexpected. And then my personal review. Through this story, the complexity and illogical way of thinking following the emotional turmoil and desire is very appropriate for a child character of JSA. At the end of the story, the author does not describe in detail how it goes, but only a little feeling about Jess, which make the reader feel deep sorrow and empathy for the character Jess. However, depending on every person's point of view, they may have different perception, and maybe they will say this story is ongoing or maybe is over like that. The parents are so deep in their own emotion and overwhelming grief that they almost forget that they have three other children to bring up. The children are not allowed to pour out their feelings or even mention their brother. It was such a gripping story and although uncomfortable when the child talking about sex. Families who are very religious and strict about religions complicate the education of their children and also living on a farm where and also living on farm where work never stops is not an easy situation for a child. The main character, or Jess, is probably the hardest hit as he blames himself for his brother's death. He looks for various ways to return or even replace his brother in the wrong direction. It's natural for kids to be upset. They only have a limited understanding of on what understanding of what's going on because they don't have role models and their parents don't guide them properly. Therefore, parental care is needed for children in assisting their knowledge. It would be better if parents were not too involved in their personal affairs, but closer to the children to create a warm relationship between, between parents and children. So the children can grow and develop normally. This condition, and then this condition can also happen to every child when parents and children are in the same condition as the story in in this novel. So that's all of my presentation. Thank you.